Jai Sri Ram, welcome Vinay ji to Bharat Marg.
Ramji.
Appreciate it. The political analyst from Toronto, Canada, and also to the viewers, welcome to Bharat Marg. I'm so excited, friends. Today we are going to discuss about India will solve Canada's healthcare nightmare. Major things are happening in the healthcare. You hear emergencies are shutting down on many of the places, and Vinay will put it all together. Very much subject, and Canadian provinces are working to meet the labor shortage in the healthcare. Recruitment office in Bengaluru to bring internationally trained registered nurses to Canadian hospitals. That's why we have a man from Bengaluru to come and discuss with us on this. Let's get started. Before going further, friends, to please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, and become part of the conversation, and also share the video. Okay. Also, friends, if you are here for the first time, please make sure to subscribe the channel Bharat Marg and press on the notification button to stay connected, so that whenever we come live, you can come here and comment and become the part of the conversation here. Welcome to Bharat Marg again. And India will solve the Canada healthcare nightmare. There are two things we are going to focus on right now. What kind of healthcare nightmare really Canada is going through? It's beyond understanding for many people. And how India is expected to solve this in the coming days. Vinay ji, welcome.
So, Canada is actually facing a lot of, uh, uh, you know, uh, kind of a healthcare issue or crisis, I should say, because it's not just in one or two provinces;
Hmm.
it's across Canada that it's happening, right? So many of the provinces are having difficulty in recruiting doctors, difficulty in recruiting nurses, and difficulty in recruiting other healthcare staff. Now, given that, the provinces are now looking outside the box to kind of find, staff members to kind of support their healthcare, system. Let's talk about this particular headline news that just came up. So Newfoundland and Labrador is a province in Canada that's on the east coast of Canada. It's actually very close to the Atlantic Ocean, and it's actually borders the Atlantic Ocean. And now Newfoundland and Labrador is a much smaller province, not a very happening province in terms of employment and things like that. So for people to to be enticed to move there, it's going to be pretty challenging for any government, that is in the province. So now what the Newfoundland and Labrador government has decided to do is they want to start recruiting foreign qualified nurses in this particular case. I mean, it's also
Hmm.
happened in case of doctors, and I'll come to that in a minute. But let's talk about the nurses.
Hmm.
So originally, I think initially what happened was, I believe they were, when Ukraine got attacked by Russia. So a lot of Ukrainians started fleeing the country because of safety issues, and so Newfoundland and Labrador
Right.
actually brought in a whole bunch of these professionally qualified healthcare workers from Ukraine into Newfoundland, and actually settled them down, gave their families, all the benefits and necessary support and stuff like that. And now,
Hmm.
many of the Ukrainian qualified nurses and stuff are actually working in Canada. I mean, in Newfoundland. However, keep in mind that Ukraine has a huge problem. And tell me what it is. Language. Language is the biggest
Hmm.
problem for people coming from Ukraine because they don't speak a word of English.
Hmm.
and very few people speak English. And because they don't study English
Mhm.
and they don't really know English, and they are not exposed to
Right.
English. So now, if these Ukrainians come over to Canada, how are they going to support the
Mhm.
patients and the doctors and other healthcare workers within the hospitals, right? So this was a major challenge which Canada did not, or
Yeah.
Newfoundland did not foresee. So
Mhm.
they said, okay, yeah, healthcare workers, come on over. We'll bring you over. And when they actually landed, they said hello, and they said something else in Ukrainian, and these guys then realized, oh my God, what a blunder, what a blunder. So now these guys are getting trained in learning English and all that stuff, right? So,
Mhm.
um, so now the Newfoundland government kind of, I should say, that was an awakening for them. So now they said, okay, you know what? Which other country can we explore? Then they immediately said, okay, why not India? Because India, most of the education in India is imparted in English. Okay, so they kind of scanned
Right.
around the country geographically, and they said, okay, why not Karnataka and why not Bangalore? Because Bangalore has got
And
over, I
especially
believe.
South has English certainly.
Correct. Yeah, and they teach English. Everything is, the language of instruction is all English, right? So, and Bangalore is a
Mhm.
hub for nursing colleges and nursing schools. So this, and there are over about 100 nursing colleges, I believe, in Bangalore alone, like in and around Bangalore.
Mhm.
So they kind of said,
Mhm.
okay, you know what, we are going to set up an office in Bangalore, a recruitment office,
Mhm.
to kind of recruit these
Mhm.
nurses who are actually passing out. So as soon as people are graduating, and once they have their internship and whatever completed, these guys are being recruited
Mhm.
to work in Newfoundland. So this is what's happening, and this is a big,
Wow.
big, big move
Straight
for
away from there.
straight. And they're also recruiting experienced nurses who are
But Vinay,
who are probably working. Sorry, go ahead.
mhm.
Yeah, so there were
Vinayji,
there.
it is
Yeah,
said, that yeah, that many of the doctors and the nurses are quitting the job because they had to do whatever the short staff they had to do. They had to do all the job in the hospital almost 20 hours or 24 hours in who are existing. That's what the nurses union is saying. The people don't want to work and they want to quit and go. And how these
this
nurses
is
will
this
do
is
when they come from abroad?
this is a huge, absolutely, you hit it right on the nail. It's a huge problem that's going on in Newfoundland, not only in Newfoundland, in many other provinces too. The Because of
Uh-huh.
you know lack of enough staff, the nurses are expected to work long hours, and many of them are on call for more than 48 to 72 hours, on call for 72 hours. So they could be called anytime. They'll work probably for about 8 hours,
Wow.
and they'll be lying down or sleeping or taking some rest, and then within 2 hours, 3 hours, they'll be called back again. So imagine 48 to 72 hours they're on call, so with interrupted sleep and whatever, right? And this is a huge problem
Mhm.
that's going on. So there's a big university, medical university in Newfoundland called Memorial University. And so Memorial University
Mhm.
has well, basically it says that it won't have enough trouble recruiting nurses through its efforts in India, because the biggest thing is, they kind of compared the standard of education in India in nursing colleges, and they said it's on par with Canadian education. Number one. Number two, it's everything is instructions is in English. And number three, the motivation and is a lot more in among Indian nurses, especially even if they've been working for about 20 years in India, right? They have a
From
lot of
abroad.
motivation, dedicated, as opposed to people here. And here they want to switch professions. They want to go and do something else. They don't want to be in nursing anymore because of this exploitation by the hospitals. Because if you don't work, if you don't accept those 72 hours of on call, then you could be fired. So that's the bottom line. So now, in view of all of this, the government of
And
Newfoundland has set up a
mhm,
recruitment desk in the city of Bangalore, and the desk will be staffed by government officials
mhm.
and a representative from the province's College of Registered Nurses, who will meet with local nurses, nursing schools, and students to promote the province as an ideal immigration destination. Okay, so this is the kind of carrot they're dangling
Yeah,
for the Bangaloreans, and
absolutely.
they're
And
saying we are doing something that is not being done by any other Canadian jurisdiction that we are aware of. And the only issue that they're seeing is the government, I mean, Indian
mhm,
government may say, oh, this is actually poaching. You're actually taking away critical skilled workers from a developing country and bringing them to Canada and enticing them with dollars and stuff like that. And that is not right, right? So, but those are some of the challenges they may have to face. But what the government of Labrador, Newfoundland and Labrador is saying, it's everything is voluntary. Nobody is being forced into this. If they want to come over, and if they qualify, if they meet all the requirements, we will provide them immigration, and not only for that individual, but for the entire family. But again, another challenge comes up. Let's say the husband
fam-
is an engineer, or let's say the husband is a school teacher or something else. How is he going to make his ends meet? He's got to qualify
right.
for the local whatever requirements and stuff like that, right? So that's another
Yeah,
challenge.
the, the,
So
the Canadian experience myth.
right. And given all of this, so if you look at the statistics across Canada, right, most people want to move to Ontario.
Mhm,
Alberta is probably number two or number three, maybe
right.
after British Columbia and then Quebec, and but very few people want to move to the east
Newfoundland.
provinces, right? The Maritimes,
Right.
and that is why it's very difficult for Newfoundland and Labrador to recruit people and bring in healthcare workers. And this, I am hoping that this is going to kind of work to the benefit of both the Indian people and to the Newfoundland government, because one way is what Newfoundland is saying is that these people who come in, yes, we cannot guarantee jobs for their spouses and stuff like that, and for the children if their children are older or whatever. But what we could do is, I mean, they make enough money in Canadian dollars that they actually can send back to their families. But again, you got to think about another thing, right? I mean, the families are going to be separated and all of that. So is that something good, bad? Again, it's something time will tell. We are not sure right now. And one other big
Absolutely.
thing that I
See,
want to
Ravi Kumar's.
tell you.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I want to tell you something else. I want to share
Yeah,
something
go
else
ahead.
with you and with the viewers. Um,
Mhm,
this will blow you off, actually, and the viewers. So Newfoundland has taken such a huge step trying to accommodate immigrants, trying to accommodate these foreign workers and all of that. They are short on doctors as well, extremely short on doctors, because many of the doctors who are getting qualified in Canada are either moving to the US or Europe or wherever, or even in Canada there's shortage of doctors in across many provinces. They probably qualify in Memorial University in Newfoundland, but they settle down in Ontario. I mean, it happened with my own cousin, my wife's cousin. He passed out from Memorial University as a doctor, and now he's practicing in Ontario. So you see what brain drain, right? But to attract these doctors, especially
mhm.
from the Middle Eastern countries, India, Pakistan, and so on, Muslim doctors are being invited to come and practice in Canada. And because these people are Muslims, there's a town in Newfoundland called Gander. Gander has actually collectively come together as a community, and they're actually building a mosque for these doctors. Can you believe that?
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah,
they want the India Hindu families coming as separate and come by themselves.
they'll come. I don't know whether the initiative is going to be
You know,
equally the same, whether
unbelievable.
they're going to build a temple for these guys. I'm not sure, but I'm just giving you that information because maybe the Muslim doctor said maybe they have an association in Pakistan or in the Middle East. Maybe 10 or 15 or 20 doctors said, okay, we'll all come there. However, we are extremely religious. We need a mosque. Can you build a mosque for us? So and they agreed, and this is
Hmm.
what's going on in Gander, Newfoundland.
Wow. This is unbelievable. See here, actually, I want to go through some of the comments so you kind of get some idea. And,
Mhm.
Ravi Kumar says, one second. Bangalore, education are under Christian missionaries. So most of them, in case of nursing, will come from there. So it should not be a problem for here, he says. Is that situation on that?
Yeah, I see that. Kerala supplies most of the nurses and decades all over India and the world. And that is true, actually. But things are shifting, right? I mean, like, things are shifting because many of the nurses have moved on. And, there are a lot of nurses still coming out of Kerala. But Bangalore has also become a huge hub for, nursing colleges and recruitment, actually.
Absolutely. And what kind of the mess is happening even in Toronto? Are they, so they will follow the same footpath also? You think
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
this is the mess is happening in Toronto too? The healthcare mess is
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
Toronto
yeah.
also. So do
Absolutely.
you
In
think they will
Ontario as
also
well.
follow the?
Ontario as well. I mean, Newfoundland is the first one to set up something like this in Bangalore, and soon other provinces will see the success. I mean, they probably won't do it right away. They'll wait and watch and see how
Mhm.
Newfoundland kind of performs and how the things are panning out. And I'm pretty sure that once that is done, maybe Ontario, maybe Alberta, maybe Quebec, and who knows how many provinces will be following the same footsteps.
Yeah, once that model is successful, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Vinay ji, for coming and sharing your. But yeah, I'll take a quick minute before we wind up, friends. At Bharat Marg, we do teach Sanskrit. If you or your family members want to learn, you can join now. It's free course. You can join and learn Sanskrit because without Sanskrit or Sanskriti, there is no Desh or Dharma. And also, friends, we also have a membership program where you can take membership and become the part of our Go Seva, Godan, Nandi Seva, Nandidan, and more, and pilgrimage trips we take, and many things. You can become a part of all these things. Our WhatsApp number is here. You can contact us by +1 647 964 4790, and also see that we do send one dharmic message every day in the language of your choice. All you have to do is WhatsApp. Okay, and back to Vinayji. Vinayji, your last word.
My last words is, it's all great, it's all good. What is happening? It's a positive thing, a positive move from by the Newfoundland government. But again, Indians who are willing to take this bait and and jump and immigrate to Canada, they've got to think about a lot of things, right? They got to make sure that they do a little bit of research about Canada. Newfoundland is an extremely cold place, especially during winters, and acclimatization, socially acclimatizing, culturally acclimatizing, and weather-wise as well. And they've got to think about all that, whether it suits their families. And short term, it's like working for a couple of years and going back is not the model, right? That's what happened with Kerala nurses. Kerala nurses used to go to the Middle East, work for about 3, 4, 5 years, make
Mhm.
enough money, and come back. And Middle East is the same weather as Kerala, so there is no issue there. But here, it's a huge change, and culturally as well, because here the main population here is Caucasian, and and the local ethnic population, which is and Atlantic Canada is not as
And
diverse as
that
Ontario, for
to
example.
bridge the, yeah, but
I'm
to
sorry.
bridge that only they are building the mosque, right? To bring the people. So
Yeah, they're trying to do that,
so
but
that should
who
not be
knows
a
what
problem.
their intentions are. And again, we don't know what the future holds for Atlantic Canada. I hope it doesn't become like another European country where they're bringing too many immigrants, and then they're themselves becoming minorities in front of the minorities. So that shouldn't happen. So just a word of caution. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vinay ji, for joining us and explaining the whole thing as beautifully as ever. And looking forward to see you again. Okay, friends,
Thank you,
please
G.
feel free
Hare
to
Krishna.
comment, like, and share the video, friends. If you have any question, please put it all. Thank you, Vinay ji. And again, looking forward to see you again. Okay, and
Absolutely.
friends, subscribe the channel, and also feel free to connect with us by whatever. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.